Hello friends, my name is Vandita Shivle and thanks for joining me today on this edition of the Mutual Fund Eye. A couple of people have asked me this question in the morning itself, that should they be putting up their money in the Bharat Bond ETF, which has been launched by Edelweiss AMC recently. Because the NFO period was 14 July to 17th of July, so it's about to get over. So they've asked me whether it's wise to invest as of now. I mean, that's their question. So if I could guide them on the advantages and the disadvantages. So yes, that's right, that Edelweiss AMC has launched this second tranche of Bharat Bond ETF with two new series. The first series, the maturity gets over on April 2025, that is 5 years from now. And the second series that we are talking about, the maturity gets over post 11 years, like 11 years from now, and the targeted maturity is around April 2031. So that's what it is about. And the indicative yield that Edelweiss AMC is claiming for the first series, which gets matured by April 2025, that's around 5.75%. And for the second series, which gets matured in April 2030, 31. So that 31, I guess. So that is the indicative yield is around 6.8%. So that's what it is about. And now the question on whether it is wise to invest or not. See, everything has its advantages and disadvantages. So when we talk about advantages first, now let's look at how the first tranche did. You know, when they released the first tranche, that was in December 2019. So how did that go? How was the response of the investors? Well, a lot of people have invested. They at that time also they came up with two series. One was for April 2023 and the other was for April 2030. So at that time, what we have noticed is that the performance is good. Even the daily average traded value is of the first tranche is around 3.2 lakhs to 3.2 crore to 3.7 crore. So and it's trading premium to its NAV. So it is performing really well. But the AUM size, if you see, that was little less. It got dropped for the first series, which is getting matured on April 2023. Whereas if you look at the second series of the first tranche, which is April 2030. Now that definitely we have seen that the AUM size went up. So people are wanting, people want to keep for longer duration. So that's what was the observation, and the performance has been really good as of now. So see, what are the advantages? Well, advantages is like it's an ETF. So you can buy and sell units definitely on the exchanges. That's number one. There is no exit load if you buy it via Demat account. But yes, there would be an exit load which will be levied on investors if they are buying via funds of funds, right? And that would be around 0.10% if you redeem your investments before 30 days. So that's the amount that they are talking about. If you don't have a Demat account, you can invest via funds of the funds. So that's one thing that you could do. So it has the best features from a bond, ETF and a mutual fund perspective. And the best part is it is quite safe because they are claiming that they are investing in AAA rated PSU companies. PSU as in public sector units or state-owned firms. So now if you look at April 2025 series, there are 12 constituent and 12 such state-owned firms which are constituting this particular index that we are saying. And now we need to understand that when we say ETF, it is benchmarked to a particular index. So what is that index? That index is Nifty Bharat Bond Index. So it is very transparent, because how the index will perform, definitely this particular ETF is gonna perform. So that's one thing. So that's an advantage, that it's little transparent. It's transparent than other instruments, I would say. 12 constituents for April 2025. You can look at the list before you invest. And there are 8 constituents, 8 public sector companies in the April 2031 series that we are talking about. right? So have a look at that. And the weightage is dependent, the exposure amount, that's capped to 15%. And the exposure, the more the exposure means more the outstanding amount. That's how they have really planned and structured this ETF. So what are the advantages? First advantage I told, it's a transparent instrument. Second, they have a green shoe option. So definitely, I mean, they're planning to raise money through your money. So they're giving you a green shoe option where the liquidity and the stability of the investors would remain intact. That's what they're claiming. Stable, of course, because it's a debt instrument, and liquidity, yes, because it's ETF. So you can buy and sell units on the exchanges during the trading hours. So definitely that liquidity option would be there. A third benefit is it's low cost. The kind of cost they have kept is very less. It's passively managed because it's replicating the index, Nifty Bharat Bond Index. So the cost would be around 0.0005%, which is 1 rupee for every 2 lakh investment that you do. So that's another advantage for the investors. Another advantage that I feel is reinvestment risk is little less, because the coupons or the returns that this particular ETF would be getting would be would get reinvested again in the same index, the underlying index. So definitely that amount, the power of compounding, the investor would receive. That's another thing. Then taxation benefit, it's a very, very tax efficient way to invest if you're looking for tax efficient means, because the money that you're keeping in right now, you will get indexation benefits on that. Definitely 20% on your gains, that would be the taxation way, because it's a debt instrument. If you're keeping more than 3 years and of course planning to keep it till maturity, that's the thing that you would be getting. Indexation benefit would add up to the indicative yield, what they are saying, right? So indexation benefits you are gonna get. So right now, if they're saying 5.7% for the first series, that is April 2025, if you get indexation benefit, you can expect 7% return. That's how it works. So definitely that is a good part of it. Apart from that, yes, there are a lot of talks that right now they are investing in AAA rated PSU companies. But what if they plan to change the portfolio? That's one of the risks. But see, they would still invest in government securities. And I think that obviously it's when we talk about people are comparing it with bank FD, but you cannot really compare it with bank FD completely, because bank FD gives you capital protection guarantee. You don't get a capital protection guarantee here. So it is an investment instrument, and you have to take little bit of risk, but yes, it is less riskier than other instruments. So that's one thing that you need to analyze it for yourself, whether you want to put your money or not, because yes, the portfolio might get changed after maybe a year or so, so we cannot really guarantee on that part. Second kind of risk, what many people are saying is that AAA rated government securities, what if it's not AAA rated? Let me tell you, if it is AAA rated, it is AAA rated for government securities. When they say PSU companies are AAA rated, yes, these are AAA rated only. These are not private firms. So that is one thing. So your money is guaranteed here. And when they say AAA rated for government companies, it is AAA rated. It cannot, like for private firms, when they say AAA rated, for some agencies, rating agencies, it might be AAA, but for other rating agency, it could be AA as well. But that does not hold true for government securities. So that's number two. I won't call it as a disadvantage, because it's about the perspective of a person, right? So that is one thing. But yes, later on they might invest in AA rated as well. So we don't know on that part. So that is another risk. But yes, government securities they would invest in. And I don't think that if the first tranche response is good, it won't be like that for the second tranche. So if you ask me, if you're looking for safety options and a tax efficient way in debt space, and you have not invested anywhere, then please go for it, because today is the last date. So you can think about investing in this particular NFO. I hope I was quite clear. And see, everything, even there are two sides to a coin. So I can just tell you that these are the risks and involved in it. But I'm not really, and a lot of people, believe that this is just an indicative yield. So yield might change, but that's true. it could change as well, because indicative yield is quite close to return, but that's not exactly the return. So it might change as well. But the point is that it is a dead space. It's a government initiative. It's backed by the government. Government has taken up this initiative, given up this responsibility to Edelweiss AMC to manage this. So I don't think that your money would be lost here. The investment amount that you put along with returns, that they are saying that you would get post maturity, if you keep it up to target amount, then definitely target maturity period, then definitely it's a wise way to invest. But if you're planning to take out your investments before the maturity date, I would not suggest you that for sure. For sure, I would not. Because then you are taking a price risk, which I don't want you to take. Right? So these are a couple of things that you should take care, analyze it, and then you see whether you want to invest or not. Because yes, it's a financial instrument, so it's a financial world. You might gain, you might lose, but I think that chances of gaining here are more than losing. So on that note, thank you very much for listening to me. I did it really quick because the time is getting over, and 17 July that's the NFO period. I mean 14 July to 17th of July. So all the very best with your investments. If you're planning to invest, you should not take out your money before the targeted maturity period, which is April 2025 or 2031, because that's how the yield curve works. And let the fund actually perform, and then see how it really works, and then you tell me whether it worked for you or not. Okay, all the very best.